2020 is almost over, so I thought it would be really cool to share my favorite games that I played from this year with you guys. I also am hoping to make this a tradition. Perhaps we'll do this every year. There will be no spoilers in this video. If I do talk about the story, it will be very minimal. I'm mostly going to be talking about gameplay. So at number 5, we have Snack World Dungeon Crawl Gold. I absolutely loved this game. It's kind of a niche title, I would say. It's actually a remake. It did originally release on the 3DS, but I didn't play it. But this game did take me by surprise. I ended up pouring way more hours into it than I thought it would. It's a top-down hack and slash game, but you collect little monsters called snacks that can help you battle, which is a little bit like Pokemon. You kind of collect them and they help you to destroy all your enemies. I found the combat very addicting, and it's made by the same people who made Yokai Watch, and there are some yokai monsters included in the game too, which was a nice touch. You can customize your character, and there are tons of different outfits that you can craft in the game that changes your appearance. I actually spent a lot of time collecting all of the different outfits, as in the game they actually have a system where each day a different genre of clothing will be trending, and if you actually wear the clothing that is trending for the day, your drop rate actually increases. So you'll get better loot, your luck will increase. So I thought that was a really interesting system, and I've never actually seen that done before in a game, so I thought it was quite clever. So Snack World does have online multiplayer, but unfortunately it's only available for the side quests in the game. So you have to play the main story solo, which did suck a little bit. I love how colourful the game is, and the story is really light-hearted and silly, and it definitely does not take itself too seriously. I especially loved the genies.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4! Genie Aces! Oh, let's party all night! We're on the rise! Oh, let's party! Oh, let's talking pride, y'all! Oh, fabulous!
Aren't they amazing? They're so funny. I loved all the cutscenes with the genies. Okay, number 4. Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think everyone and their grandma knows about this game, right? It's extremely popular, and for good reason. Animal Crossing is such a relaxing game that released at just the perfect time of year. You know, when the world was going crazy with the pandemic coronavirus and we needed something fluffy. Luckily for us, there is plenty of fluffiness included in this game, as the world is filled with adorable animal-like creatures that you can interact with every day. You start off in Animal Crossing with just a humble tent, but as you collect bugs and fish and other bits and bobs to sell, you slowly work your way up to owning your very own house, after you have paid off your bills from Tom Nook, of course. Number 3, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. Okay, so this one is mostly because it's nostalgic for me. I absolutely loved the old Harvest Moon games when I was a child, and I played this game multiple times back on the PS2 days and then again on the Game Boy Advance. I felt that the new additions and improvements that were made were well worth buying this game again, and I ended up sinking another 200 hours into this game. Like in most Harvest Moon games, you take over your grandfather's farm and you must make it successful. There isn't really a time limit though, so you can really take it at your own pace. You can get cows and sheep and llamas, rabbits, chickens, and they even added new types of cows and new pets. There are 2 new marriageable candidates, and overall I had so much fun with it. If you like Harvest Moon, I highly recommend this game. It's really addicting. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake. another game that is nostalgic for me. I'm starting to see a trend here. As some of you may already know, I am a huge Final Fantasy fan, so I was extremely excited to hear about the Final Fantasy VII remake. I was a little unsure at first, as this was only one part of the story for the Final Fantasy VII remake, but it was well worth dipping into. The voice acting is incredible, the soundtracks gave me goosebumps, and the combat was very fluid and felt great. They even included Cloud cross-dressing. Doesn't he look magnificent? And my game of the year, da-da-da-da-da, some of you might know this already, but Yakuza Like a Dragon. This game absolutely blew me away. What an experience. They may have gone away from the action combat, but I actually preferred the turn-based system that they went with. I had a lot of fun trying out the different jobs that the game provided, and I grew to love Ichiban and his party members. He is an extremely wholesome character that really pulls on your heartstrings. I had a very emotional experience with this game, and if I could wipe my memories and play it all over again, I would do so in a heartbeat. The side quests were fantastic. You have your typical wacky Yakuza quests and your wholesome feel-good quests, and I really enjoyed my time with this game, and I can't wait to tackle the other Yakuza games sometime soon. I did stream this game on my channel too, so if you would like to see my experience with the game for yourself, there will be links in the description box below. Alright, now for the honourable mentions. There are 4 games that I picked out for the honourable mentions because these games I had fun with, but they just didn't quite make the list, but I did still want to include them and talk about them just a tiny bit. Alright, so Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX Rescue Team. This was actually the first Mystery Dungeon game from the Pokemon series that I had ever played, and I had a really relaxing and enjoyable experience with it. I almost included this one in my top 5 list actually, but it just didn't quite hit the mark with the combat. You don't really do much where the combat is concerned, and it almost plays by itself, but the story was really cute and it gave me a kind of different perspective on what it would be like if the Pokemon world actually existed and how the Pokemon would interact with each other. Ghost of Tsushima. Some of you might be surprised that this game isn't actually in my top 5 list, and the reason for that is I did actually get a little bit bored in parts. That's not to say that this is a bad game, it's really not, as it is actually one of my honourable mentions, so I definitely enjoyed it. I loved the setting and the combat, but I just felt like the story was a little bit too simple and the world felt a little bit bloated at times. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. The music is absolutely fantastic in this game. There were so many levels in this game that had me bopping my head along, and almost every level felt like one big giant party. The environments and the enemies would even join in and dance along to the soundtracks. However, the controls felt a little bit awkward at times, but I really enjoyed my time with this little game and I put a lot more time into it than I thought I would. There is also a full playthrough of this game on the channel if you are interested. The links will be in the description box below. Paper Mario: The Origami King. A super comfy and relaxing Mario game that plays more like an RPG title than a typical Mario game. I've not played many Mario games, but the RPG elements for this one made me take the plunge, and I am glad that I did. Although the combat is a little weird and I couldn't 100% get behind it because it was more like a puzzle than an actual battle, but I really enjoyed exploring the world of Paper Mario. The environments were fantastic and I really loved the characters. The boss fights were really clever too. Some of them required you to do things in a certain order to figure out how to defeat them. So that's it for my top 5 games for this year and my honourable mentions. There's quite a few games there. I had a really hard time choosing between the games that I did play, but I hope you enjoyed, and maybe even some of the games that were mentioned caught your eye, and maybe you'll even find something new that you never knew existed. There was quite a few niche titles on this list, I didn't include stuff like Cyberpunk or Assassin's Creed Valhalla and that kind of stuff because honestly I just didn't play them. I am interested in them, but I guess I wasn't interested enough to pre-order them. I don't really have the big popular ones, but I definitely had some niche ones going on here, which is kind of nice because hopefully that means you guys saw some unexpected games in this list. But that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my Patreons for supporting the channel. Thank you so much, and if you are interested in donating, there will be a link in the description box below to my Patreon page. It's only $1 a month to gain access, and I am currently uploading exclusive anime review videos only on Patreon, and it's only $1 a month to gain access. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, rate and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you next time.